Hi everyone, I'm Gary Watson. Welcome to an Issues Special. Today we're talking with Max Clark. He is a mayoral candidate in the Tasman District region. Welcome along.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you very much to Mainland Television for this opportunity. I think it's great to have a local television station that gives us the opportunity to speak to the community.
Well, thank you. And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I have a background. I've worked in the health industry for 36 years. I'm an intensive care paramedic. I'm a registered nurse, and I have owned my own ambulance company for 18 years, Medimax Limited. I'm a businessman, and I've done all the work in the hospital. I've worked in the rescue helicopter stuff in the past. I'm basically standing under Refresh Tasman banner because I've brought together a group of people who have concerns about the direction of the council, and we're wishing for some change. I think after 9 years, I think it's very important that we have a new mayor for Tasman to take it forwards. I am the new broom. I'm here to sweep what I see as a tired council clean.
Okay. Where do you stand on the dam?
Well, thank you
the
for
Lee Valley Dam.
Well, I'm totally opposed to it. I think I'm the only candidate that does not support the Lee Valley Dam. Mm-hmm. We need to live within our means. The dam is just too big, too expensive, and has little support in the district. If the dam was to go ahead, it would financially cripple the ratepayers of Tasman with massive increases in debt, and your rates would rise significantly. There must be no dam. What I propose as an alternative is I support a reservoir and a weir system and a conservation policy and good things like household rainwater collection tanks. I think we should also have a user pay system for the irrigators if they are extracting water.
Right. Do you see it like any other business that if it has a need, it has to budget for that need itself and finance that need itself?
Absolutely correct. I think it's a business expense that everyone would have in normal business practice.
Yeah.
That's how I would see it.
So the current plan, doesn't that mean that people like in Golden Bay and Motueka would actually have to pay for that dam?
Well, that's
some of them would.
Absolutely. It's going to be a Tasman district-wide costing on this dam that everyone will pay. And quite frankly, people in Golden Bay and Motueka and Murchison will have no benefit whatsoever, but they're expected to pay.
We're seeing this right across, not just on local body, but we're also seeing this at a government level, where money is being sucked out of the regions and is being spent where there is a higher population.
Yes, that's correct, and I think we do need to change that viewpoint. I think we need to make it if you wish to proceed with any project, that it should be a need to deal with the local community and pay for that sort of expenditure yourself.
Right. Okay. Stormwater in Motueka, big problem.
Absolutely. Stormwater and Motueka, Rewalker, Tākaka, and even in Murchison. Mm-hmm. The nicest way to say it is the response from the council is they've been neglected. I think they have been in a position where they have no considerations for their needs, and they've had repeated problems. I said there's no program to assist these people whatsoever. It needs to be an urgent job. It needs to be urgently done, and I think the council have got the wrong priorities. I don't see beautifying Queen Street as a priority ahead of flooding in these areas. Mm-hmm. The other side of the coin, and I'm hearing it extensively throughout the community, is that there's a gravel build-up in all these areas that needs to be taken out of the rivers for the flooding protection of these communities, and I will invoke that sort of to happen almost immediately.
They used to happen on the Motueka River. They used to be always taking the shingle out, and there wasn't an issue, and the river flowed nicely.
I think if you ask the local folks, they would tell you exactly where to take it and how it works, and that's what we need to get back to. I'm a great believer in using the local community for knowledge and advice and being inclusive of them in their wants and needs in the community.
The thing that comes out at some of these meetings is that clearly this council is not listening to its customers, the ratepayers.
Oh, absolutely correct. I believe I not only will listen to the community, but I will hear their voices, and I think that's what they need to be. The council need to be directing their thoughts.
Do you support a binding referendum on the dam?
I think the dam's going to be over. Binding a referendum is a good principle.
Yep.
I accept the community, but we just need to look back a little stage. In 2014, the council asked the community whether they wished to, in their annual plan, whether they support or not the dam project. And we had 850 written applications opposing it. Mm-hmm. And they're still going full steam ahead, and they're wrong. The community have spoken very clearly to them, but they don't seem to have the ability to absorb the community's wishes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. What about the mess at the Mapua Wharf? That was badly mishandled by the council. The council ended up getting taken to court. It had to pay up a considerable amount of money, and it had to pay court costs.
It should never have happened. The council should not be involved in commercial buildings of that nature. Why are we competing with our ratepayers who have got the ability to do it? We don't have the commercial expertise in the council, and I think we shouldn't be involved. Mm-hmm. It's a shocking display of commercial mismanagement, in my view. It's not the first occasion it's occurred. We had the water treatment plant in Lower Queen Street, Richmond, and that went from $4 million to $12 million. What I intend to do is to make it very clear to the council. I'm going to appoint an independent commercial accountant, and I want him to review all contracts over a certain value that leave from the CEO's office or the commercial office in the council to correct this oversight and bring it back into line.
We seem to have lots of issues which are surrounding water, like we've just spoken about the Mapua Wharf, but Te Rakoe, now there's another problem area.
Yes, it is.
The legal costs are just mounting and mounting.
Well, the legal costs in the last council are in excess of $100,000. What they need to understand when they put a project together is there's some costs which are part of the overall betterment of things. You don't go and increase the charges at Te Rakoe 400% and expect the people to accept it. It's wrong. They need to modify their approach, and I will do that. I will reduce those costs, and how you overcome those sort of situations is you get an increase in volume through there, which gives you the return in capital in the same way as increasing charges do, but you get less of a problem.
And would you see getting that extra volume as making it more user-friendly?
Absolutely so.
Okay.
People have left the port already and quite vocal about it, and it's quite unnecessary.
Right. What about this fact that the council has renewed the CEO's contract when his contract doesn't expire or is not up for renewal till next year? It's not giving this new council an opportunity to assess the CEO's performance and then consider renewing.
It should never have happened. I find that is a very bad judgment call. Whether the CEO is the best or not the best, it's not the point. The principle is wrong. They should not have undertaken that when they had time for the new mayor and the new council to make that decision. His contract doesn't come up for renewal until March of next year. There's plenty of adequate time to assess whether that should have been renewed or not.
If elected mayor, would you look at revising that commitment that's made to look at whether there is an opportunity to change that ruling?
What I would do is, if I was elected as mayor, is at the end of my 3-year term, I certainly wouldn't be making further appointments for the future until a new council was appointed.
Right, okay. Now, what about debt levels? They're projected to skyrocket.
Absolutely. We've got a commonly advertised view for the current council and the mayor that their rates have been held at a low level and our debt level's been held low. It's simply not correct. What has happened this year, because it's election year and to make the picture look rosier, the council have postponed all routine expenditure, including capital works. So they've spent nothing, but the position is quite clear that after the elections, we currently have a debt of $129 million of borrowing. After the elections, the council have already approved a budget for next year, 2016 and 2017, and they're intending to go to $166 million next year in debt. And the following year, if the dam project is to move forward with the council, to a whopping $193 million in debt. And the simplest way for the community to understand the debt loading is that for every $10 million that we have in debt, cost a 1% increase on everyone's rates throughout the district.
Wow, yeah. Okay, we're talking with Max Clark. He is a candidate for Mayor at the TDC. We'll take a short break. Back in a moment.
We're the team at JCar, right here in Nelson, 120 Hardy Street. Our shop is full of electronic items,
including security alarm systems, electronic components,
solar and power,
electronics, toys,
sound systems, cables, and much, much more. JCar.
120 Hardy Street, Nelson.
Are you looking for a scooter, walker, wheelchair, baby seats or pushchairs? Then come in and see the Nelson Region Specialist at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library. We have a huge selection of scooters, walkers, wheelchairs and accessories, along with a free booklet guide. We also provide a breakdown service if you ever get a puncture or a flat battery. We have fully equipped service vans to rescue you. Hi, I'm Robin Jordan and I invite you to call in and see the friendly team at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library.
Nelson Tire Center. Great prices, great service. Buy your own Bryford trailer. All types, all sizes.
Hi, I'm Colin from Nelson Tire Centre. Come on down for a good deal.
Hi everyone, I'm Gary Watson and I'm standing for the Tasman District Council's Moutere Waimea Award for Council. The TDC has some big challenges ahead and I believe it's important the Council have successful people with business skills and experience that know how to manage money, your hard-earned money, wisely. I want to see a considerable reduction in unnecessary red tape that is adding huge costs to all ratepayers, new home owners, businesses and farmers. Rate increases must be kept below inflation and more fairness introduced on a number of issues across our region. My wife Christine and I operate a number of companies including Mainland TV, radio and online, and we've lived in the Motueka Valley for over 36 years. We love the people, we love the climate, we love the environment, and I am passionate to make Tasman better the way you want it.
World War I was a defining period in our history, impacting greatly on the lives of people from the Nelson province. Memories of the First World War is an exhibition which will be displayed in a number of regional venues and is currently on at the Nelson Provincial Museum.
Welcome back. You're watching an Issues Special. Today we're talking with Max Clark. He is a TDC candidate for Mayor of Tasman. Debt, we were talking about before. Do you think debt is something that we should have plenty in reserve in case there's a natural disaster?
I totally agree. We are going at the upper limits of our debt setting by the Treasury Department. They say that if we get up near the $200 million, which this council is heading towards, that our credit rating will drop. And when your credit rating drops from Standard & Poor's, what actually happens is it increases the interest rates charged on your debt, so everyone's rates will go up. It's simple.
Yeah, and in many cases, when somebody takes on a lot of debt, you can end up paying for that 2 or 3 times over in terms of the interest.
That's correct. General principle, you pay 2.5 times the amount of money you've lent in debt. We have an income is about approximately between $115 and $120 million a year at TDC. What I believe is they should start beginning to live within their means. Mm-hmm. They need to put money aside for this capital expenditure on a yearly basis, and then when these projects come up, there's an opportunity for self-funding without debt.
Do you support some projects where future generations will benefit from a particular utility or system that's put in place, which would be a large burden on people to pay it all at once right now when future generations are going to benefit from it?
I think there is some expenditure you have to put in a longer term plan, simply so that there's a shared benefit to everybody.
Okay. Selling assets. The TDC has a significant number of assets. The 2 big ones that come to mind are the port company and the airport. Would you see selling them off to pay debt as an option, or would you see the profits it brings every year as a benefit that should remain?
I think they should be retained. I think they should be retained, and I think they do bring benefit. And I see a bright future with both those assets.
Yes.
I think there's other assets in the community that should be reviewed, and a number of things I would see that needs to be reviewed and see whether it's cost effective to retain or whether it's cost effective to move on to other areas and sell them. But not those two assets. I think they're very important to retain.
The harvesting of some of the council's forests have given them a significant amount of income, be it that is just sort of one-off now and again. It's not something that's a regular thing. It's a little bit sort of hit and miss as the trees mature and they cut the trees down and sell them. Is that something you would want to see the council keep involved with?
I think the critical thing is we need to review that. That's one area I would look at reviewing. We make approximately $1.8 million annually off Rabbit Island. Overall, the forestry brings, I think it's $4.2 million return to this community. I would want to look at the bigger picture and see whether that's a benefit overall to the community in the longer term. It may be more viable to look at other arrangements there.
Right, okay. We see just recently there's something like 85 reserves just in the Motueka ward alone. Is that something you would be interested to look at to see whether we actually need that number?
I'm staggered at that amount. I find that quite unreal. There must be pockets there that are unused and things, and we do need to look at that. We need to perhaps reconsider our position and speak to the communities. If they're not in use and sitting idle, well, perhaps we should look at other considerable things.
What's your view on the water treatment plant?
Well, there's another example of financial mismanagement, and that's why my intention is to appoint an independent commercial accountant to look at these contracts. The water plant went from $4 million of a tender price to $12 million on completion. It's just out of control.
Who got it wrong? Was it the council engineers or was it the contractor?
I wouldn't be able to comment further until I looked at that, but there's something dreadfully wrong when these contracts go 2/3 over the original price or 200% over the original price. This is a common principle in this council and it needs to be changed. They need to be more realistic to people's needs and affordability of rates, and you won't get this if there's a continuing cost overruns on all these contracts. If you're in private business, this doesn't happen. You meet the contract price, and there may be a 5 or 10% cost overruns for unexplained things, but not 200%. Cost overruns. It's just excessive and unnecessary.
Well, we've been building radio and television stations around the Pacific and doing a lot of work with the government, and we're usually 0.1 or 0.2% below budget every time.
Great,
We've
great to hear.
Never had a problem. And I can't understand why other people can't do their homework.
Well, I think...
Do you think this is a problem that the council has?
Yes, it does. I think there's a general culture that people are just say, well, someone else is going to be paying the bills.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be more accountability in the commercial section, and I certainly would be looking at that very, very clearly.
Do you think it's the case that anybody can spend someone else's money, but only skilled people can manage other people's money?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now, we've spoken about the water treatment plant. The current council lacks management skills. Is that a fair comment?
I think it is, especially in the commercial area. I don't think they have the expertise of staff or to deal with commercial contracts. I think it's all very fine approving money that you already have or can borrow money, but the reality is quite different on the commercial contracts. And I'm very keen to review that whole process there to make sure that we bring it back on track for the community's benefit.
Do you support the council getting less involved in the business of business and staying focused on its core objectives?
Absolutely so.
Okay.
We need to get back to the core considerations.
Parking in Queen Street. They've got some funny ideas of wanting to put angle parking in there. Is there enough room to do that?
Well, this beautification program, I'm going to review it. It's on hold until in January. The feedback I'm getting both from the community and the shopkeepers in Queen Street, they're petrified of what this council's proposing. They're saying that, in my view, and the council have now got a differing position on the stormwater. The stormwater is now going to be taken down Oxford Street. So the significant flooding they've had in the past won't exist. There'll be localised flooding, and when you've got raised platforms where the pedestrian crossings are, you will find that people would flood into the shops. It's just normal water patterns. But if you put a few holes through them and put some pipes in, perhaps the water would flow consistently down the road.
But isn't Oxford Street uphill in respect to Queen Street?
No,
slightly?
it's not. No,
It's the other way.
It's the other way. It
Does it
goes.
slope back that
It
way?
does, and the water is planned to go into Brooks Creek, which is in lower
Oh, okay.
at the very end of there. So the pipe was intention, and there's a plan at present. Take the water from Washburn Gardens, all the subdivisions where the flooding came from,
Right.
Oxford Street. But what concerns me as well is this concept of Queen Street itself. They are trying to reduce the road by 2 metres either side, bring it into angled car parking, and take the disabled car parks out of Queen Street. I'm absolutely flabbergasted they even think like that. It's bizarre. And the shopkeepers are telling me that their business will just fall over, and it shouldn't happen.
TDC's been wasting an awful lot of money on legal costs.
I'm going to personally review every case that comes in front of the courts and these commercially mismanaged projects. I need to put a stop to this nonsense. It's almost a weekly event where someone's taking them either to court, to the Commerce Commission or other facilities because they're dissatisfied with the suitable outcomes of the council business with them. It needs to change, and I think it can change.
Okay. Finally, what is your vision for Tasman?
Well, I think the critical thing is we're a great community. We're absolutely the environment, the place we live in is why I just absolutely think it's wonderful. We need to move forward in a positive way. I think we need to ask the communities what they want and what they need, and be more focused towards that direction. And I think there is a potential for growth. It's just a matter of encouraging it in a proper manner.
Right. That is Max Clark. He is the mayoral candidate at the TDC. Well, that's issues for another week. I hope you can join us at the same time next week when we'll cover another subject on the Issues program. In the meantime, if you have an issue or a subject you would like to see broadcast on the program, then please drop us an email.
I'm Kip Mailing and I'm standing for Mayor of Tasman. First of all, I'd just like to give you a bit of my background. I spent 24 years in the police and 12 years orcharding, and I returned to Tasman to live some 18 years ago because I had an elderly father that we wanted to be close to. I'm standing for Mayor because I want to make a difference to our district. I'm concerned about what is happening with our current council. They're not focused on core services. They've also increased staff hugely over the last 9 years. What's happened in Mapua with an overspend of $500,000 and $1.8 million on a commercial building is not core services and should not have been done. There are plenty of developers in Nelson and Tasman that would have built that building and not involved ratepayers' money. It's an indictment on this council that we can't fix stormwater in Motueka and flooding issues in Murchison, and we're spending $1.8 million on a commercial building. That should not happen. So I want to see a council that is focused on core services. Rates affordability is another issue, and the increase in staffing has caused part of this problem. Rates should not go up above inflation, and in the last 9 years they've gone up above inflation every year. This year they went up 1%, inflation is running at 0.4. The next subject I want to discuss is our environment. I'm a keen trout fisherman and I also go sea fishing. We need jobs and we need to improve our environment as well, and that means protecting our waterways and ensuring that we're not damaging our environment with our development. I also support the Lee Valley Dam. I have been involved in irrigation for a number of years, and if we don't build this dam soon, we will lose funding from government. They are looking at putting in a considerable sum of money to help irrigators fund this project, and it will also provide water for Richmond. Without the dam, we have 1,000 jobs at risk on the Waimea Plains. That will affect our economy hugely and our district. And the last subject I'd like to really talk with you this morning is the Southern Link. It is increasingly difficult to get in and out of Nelson from Tasman. When I came to Nelson as a 10-year-old 50 years ago, there was talk of the Southern Link then. Our population has increased hugely, and it can now take an hour to get from Nelson City to the other side of Richmond. We need to improve the flow of and volume of traffic from our key infrastructure areas, the port. The one way to do that is with the Southern Link. So I won't have met all you people. We have a difficult district to get around, but I've spent time in Murchison in the last few days. I've also been at Lake Rotoiti, I go to Motueka, I've been to Golden Bay, and over the next few weeks I'll be visiting every district and every township that I can, and I would seek your support to bring the Tasman district back into focus on core services, affordability of rates, improving our environment, and the Southern Link. Thank you for listening to me.
Hi there, Julian Toon, Waimea Telecommunications. We install and maintain domestic and commercial satellite TV, UHF Freeview and mainland TV installations in the Nelson, Tasman regions. We specialise in Panasonic telephone systems and provide communications, Wi-Fi, IT and wiring for internet, fibre, computers and DSL systems. At Waimea Telecommunications, we also provide specialist electronic systems for features such as a security camera you can watch on your TV, visitor alert systems and much more. Improve your security and communication and entertainment today. Call us on Waimea Telecommunications on 021 472297, ytel.co.nz.
Hi, Dave here from Nelson Beds
And Jesse.
We'd like to invite you all into our showroom here in Quarantine Road. Have a look at what we produce. We do a wide range of beds, bedroom furniture, adjustable beds, both home care style, whereby you may have people that are in a disabled position, or just adjustable beds for your own comfort. We do rustic furniture and bed frames, mattresses.
So with our ranges of bases, you don't just have to go with the standard option. You can go to rollaway drawers. So like this one here, you got a nice big drawer that's not part of the base, it's separate, so it can take plenty of weight. You can put plenty in there, and it just nicely snugs underneath the base. And another option of drawers, instead of being separate rollaways, we also have the roller runner drawers. So these are smaller because they can't take quite as much weight as what the big rollaways can, but just a bit neater, better for clothing, and again, just neatly sit in place.
So come on down and see us at Nelson Beds at 59 Quarantine Road on the way to the airport.
We're the team at Jaycar, right here in Nelson, 120 Hardy Street. Our shop is full of electronic items,
including security alarm systems, electronic components,
solar and power,
electronics, toys,
sound systems, cables, and much, much more. Jaycar.
120 Hardy Street, Nelson.
Are you looking for a scooter, walker, wheelchair, baby seats or pushchairs? Then come in and see the Nelson Region Specialist at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library. We have a huge selection of scooters, walkers, wheelchairs and accessories, along with a free booklet guide. We also provide a breakdown service if you ever get a puncture or a flat battery. We have fully equipped service vans to rescue you. Hi, I'm Robin Jordan and I invite you to call in and see the friendly team at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library.